That's my mic test. Boop, boop, boop.
Go for it.
Okay. My eyes flashed up to Edward's face in terror. Despite Arrow's overt politeness, I didn't believe I really had a choice. I was horrified at the thought of allowing him to touch me, and yet also perversely intrigued by the chance to feel his strange skin. Edward nodded in encouragement, whether because he was sure Arrow would not hurt me, or because there was no choice, I couldn't tell. I turned back to Arrow and raised my hand slowly in front of me. It was trembling. He glided closer, and I believed he meant his expression to be reassuring, but his papery features were too strange, too alien, and too frightening to reassure. The look on his face was more confident than his words had been. Arrow reached out as if to shake my hand and pressed his insubstantial-looking skin against mine. It was hard, but felt brittle, shale rather than granite, and even colder than I expected. His filmy eyes smiled down at mine, and it was impossible to look away. They were mesmerizing in an odd, unpleasant way. Arrow's face altered as I watched. The confidence wavered and became first doubt, then incredulity, before he calmed into a friendly mask. "So very interesting," he said, as he released my hand and drifted back. What?
Cool.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Look how big that is. To tell?
I'm gonna just wake everybody up on a Sunday morning.
Good morning.
Listen, don't wake me up on a Sunday morning.
Oh, we do it every week for you guys.
I already do it for myself. My name is Marin.
My name is Emily.
And this is
Remember Twilight.
Every time I say Remember Twilight, Mark goes, "It's a question." He wants me to always pronounce it. Remember Twilight? Always.
Always. Is he wrong?
No.
No.
I think he's right.
I think so too.
I just get used to saying Remember Twilight because it's the name of our podcast, but it's also a question.
It is. Do you guys remember?
Y'all remember Twilight?
Yeah. What did we do last week?
Okay, so last week we talked about, I can't. Edward and Bella back in each other's arms.
Staring at the faces.
Oh my goodness.
Touching the
a
cheekbones.
A soft stroke of a face.
Mm-hmm.
A kiss of a hair.
Yep.
Oh, guys. I'm just so glad to have Edward back. And he's totally freaking out. And Bella is being peak Bella.
Oh my gosh, she never gets more Bella than she does at the end of this book.
It just reaches a fever pitch. And I don't blame her. It's not her fault. It's Edward's fault. I blame Edward 100%. You know what? I'm Team Edward. I love Edward. It's his fault.
Mm-hmm.
It is. He did it.
Yeah.
Still. He was trying to save her soul.
Mm-hmm. Stop
Whatever
doing
that
that.
means. So anyway, now they're going down the hallway into the dark, dark, scary underworld of the Volturi. So this is chapter 21, Verdict.
Ooh, what verdict will that be?
I know.
Wonder?
What verdict? Emily has become Romanian today. Just today, though.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I like it. Keep it up.
So yeah, they're going through all the chambers underneath the castle.
Ugh. It's dark and it's scary, and at one point they go out of this hallway into the sewer and into another hallway.
Uh-huh.
Ugh, gross. Actually, the way they describe it, it's a brightly lit, unremarkable hallway. The walls were off-white, the floor carpeted in industrial gray. Common rectangular fluorescent lights were spaced evenly along the ceiling. I'm like, this is my dentist's office. Like, you think they could have sprung for something a little fancier.
Nah.
Nope. It's
No
just
one
my
goes here.
dentist's office.
Yeah. Okay, so Bella, they walk into this new area, and Bella's like, oh, thank goodness it's warm and normal. Edward does not agree.
No.
Edward gets a dark stare on his face.
Edward is back with his moody, broody duty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited.
Uh-huh. He's pulling her farther along. They shut the door behind them as they walk into this hallway, and they bolt it shut behind them.
It's a creak. Ka-chunk. It's like those old, oh my gosh. When I was a kid, you could buy from a catalog. So you write in and you order, and it's cassette tape, and it's Sounds of Halloween.
Yes.
And then you put it in your tape player and you play it while people are trick-or-treating. You have to rewind it every like 30 minutes. But that's what that reminded me of. I was like, oh, that's where they got the sound for the
Volturi also
my 50
releases.
cents went straight to it's Volturi.
It's their side business. You can buy them in the gift shop.
Oh my goodness.
At the end of the hallway is an elevator, and Jane is standing there with her arm in the doors.
She's
waiting
so bored.
For them.
She's the most bored 7th grader you've ever met. She's just like, ugh, why is this human so slow? Oh my gosh, I have people to text.
That's not the exact vibe I'd say I get from Jane, but I
She's
let's
just the most
explore it.
bored teenager.
Everybody piles into the elevator, and there's that great scene in New Moon where
Yeah.
they're just staring at each other, but like not looking at each other as they go up.
They've got their heads back now.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We get to see everyone's hairstyles. Felix cropped short.
Mm-hmm.
Dimitri's waving to his shoulders.
An Aragorn hairdo?
Excuse me,
Please
Dimitri.
and thank you.
Guys. Their eyes a dark red.
Ugh.
But under their cloaks, they're wearing the hippiest beige clothing.
What is it? Why?
Why do vampires love khaki?
Why does everybody have to be wearing a tan sweater?
I'm
I can't
so
stand
confused.
it. A tan sweater and Dockers.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Why? Why?
I know.
That's my biggest question for Stephanie Meyer.
Honestly, it's been my biggest question from page 1.
Why do they always wear beige? It's
I
so
love
confusing.
it.
You're a vampire. You can wear whatever you want.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Really good, really good. I'm glad that we've reached the same level of WTF about the clothing.
Yes. They're so good with their gradient cloaks, but then underneath everyone is wearing a prairie dress. Like, I don't get it.
Oh my gosh.
They get out of the elevator and into a reception area, which Bella is like, this is so glam.
Think if it has like she describes it. It reminds me a lot of my brother's office. My brother is the CEO of a company, and he has a very fancy office. He loves a dark wood. He loves a dark wall. It's very nice in there. And this is what the way she describes it reminds me of that. Like the walls are paneled in wood. The floors are carpeted in a thick carpet.
Deep green.
Yeah,
It's a green shag.
There's no windows, but there's huge paintings of the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
There's crystal vases. There's couches and cozy groupings. They're just
Cozy.
like, let's hang out there,
Yeah.
right? I just think it sounds really beautiful. And then she's like, the flower smell reminded me of a funeral home.
Has Bella ever been to a funeral home before?
I didn't think so, but maybe I think that all of her grandparents are dead.
That's true.
So I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe Graham
Yeah, Graham.
was in a funeral. They don't go to... help me. Okay. Moving along. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
But do you think they have a fish tank? Like one with a Dory and a Nemo?
Maybe.
I like those in
Yeah.
a reception area.
With a Dory and a Nemo.
A huge fish tank with 2 Dories and 5 Nemos, and then one of the yellow ones, the bubbles guy. Yeah.
And a starfish.
Oh my gosh.
Stuck to the side.
Just okay, from now on, that is in my head, that's canon. That in the Volturi's reception area, they have all the fish from Finding Nemo.
Is it in the hallway, though, that looks like a dental office?
Oh, maybe.
The hallway before the elevator to the reception office?
I just can't stop thinking that this is a dentist office. Okay.
Okay. Middle of the room, we've got a counter, and Bella is a gawk at whom is behind it.
Because guess what?
She human.
She's not a vampire.
She human AF.
She's a beautiful girl, just regular old human.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Bella's like, well, if Edward dies, I know who I'm talking to on my way out.
Honestly. But she's like, I couldn't comprehend what this human woman was doing here. Totally at ease, surrounded by vampires.
Bella.
Somebody get Bella a mirror.
Yeah, you of all people.
And hold it right up to her face. And then say, you're not the only weirdo.
You guys can be BFs. Pen pals.
Oh my gosh.
Good afternoon, Jane, she says. No surprise in her face. Of course not. This is her job, Bella. She doesn't even make one, double take at Edward and his abs.
How could you not?
Out.
What's wrong with her?
Hello?
She only has eyes for Marcus. Wait,
Oh.
no, it was Felix. Wait, which one was it?
Dimitri.
Dimitri. She only has eyes for him.
Me too.
But then she's like, no, she doesn't glance at anybody, not even Edward with his glimmering skin, not even me looking terrible. Bella.
Disheveled and comparatively
Bella.
hideous.
Oh, sweetie. You're very tired. It's not your fault. You had a rough day.
Oh my gosh, comparatively hideous. It was cool. Everyone's very polite. Jane nods at her
Yeah,
as
okay.
she walks past.
Oh,
Into
yeah.
some-
It's Felix winks at Gianna and
Oh.
she giggles.
Hello, Felix. They go into some double doors. You know Jane opened both of them.
Oh,
on
in
her
a
way through.
sweeping gesture.
Mm-hmm.
She practiced it a few times.
Oh, every time she walks past. And in this new room, there's a pale boy in a pearl gray suit. At least it's not a pearl.
Pearl tan.
Can't even think of another word for this ugly color.
Taupe. Why is he wearing a suit? He's 12.
I don't know.
He's 12. It's like, you see these 12-year-olds at church whose moms made them wear their suit, and so they picked up their slacks from the floor from the Sunday before, and they're a little bit wrinkled. They're definitely too short at the bottom. Their white socks are poking out. Their black church shoes, and then their suit coat is way too big. And that's all I'm picturing. Why is he wearing a suit? He's
No one
12.
knows.
Stop it.
He could have been Jane's twin.
He
No,
definitely
really.
is Jane's twin.
His hair was darker and his lips were not as full, but he was just as lovely.
Okay,
Yes,
listen.
okay.
So he comes forward, he smiles, and he reaches out and he goes, Jane! And she goes, Alec! And then they hug, and then they kiss each other's cheeks on both sides. And I'm like, okay, I know we're just meeting them. We're just meeting them.
Yes.
But is this how they greet every time they see each other? Like,
Right.
how long was she gone?
She was there. Ara was like, listen, I need you to go bring Edward back to me and don't kill him. And she's like, all right, I'll be right back. She goes out. She finds all these people. They do their maze. They come back up. It's been maybe 15 minutes tops.
And is it because they're twins? Is it because they're 12? I don't know. I was
don't
always
know.
very excited to see my friends when I was 12, but I think if I had just seen them and I knew where they were going and then they just came back, I wouldn't be like, I'm so glad you are back. I missed you so much.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It's really bizarre.
So weird.
It's so weird.
So weird.
Do you guys do this?
Is it just these two, or is like the whole Volturi like very affectionate towards each other?
But like unnecessarily and in short amounts of time that they haven't seen each other. And
That's
like
so weird.
they're like dogs. Dogs do this.
I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you go outside to take the garbage out and then you come back in and your dog like is like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're back." That's what these guys are like.
They
And why?
They
Okay.
are.
I just thought that was really weird.
It is very weird.
Okay.
They send you out for one and you come back with two.
And a half.
Ah. Nice work. Welcome back, Edward, says Alec. You seem in a better mood. He goes, marginally.
Oh my gosh.
Bella looks over at Edward and she goes, I wonder how he could have been in a worse mood before. And then Alec turns and looks at Bella and he goes, this is the cause of all the trouble?
Her?
Rude. While they're talking, Felix casually goes, dibs.
No. He's so funny.
I want Bella.
Dibs.
Dibs. Edward is a big snarl at Felix, who just goes,
Come and get it.
you wanna fight, bro? Bring it on. Alice does a touch of a calm down, Edward.
And they stare at each other for a minute,
Uh-huh.
talking to each other through their heads.
Mm-hmm.
So fun.
Alec acts as though nothing weird is happening with all these weirdos and just says, Arl will be so pleased to see you again.
Oh my gosh.
Let's not keep him waiting, says Jane. Edward gives one nod.
Mm-hmm.
Alec and Jane hold hands and skip down the hall. They're like the Shining twins.
The twins are the creepiest creeps of all creeps I've ever seen.
They get to a piece of paneling and they slide it aside, and behind it is just a pale wooden door.
Secret door.
Ooh.
Secret door. There was a secret door at the mansion in Salt Lake that I used to live in. Did I
No,
ever
thank
show you it?
No.
I never showed you the secret door.
No.
Oh my gosh, I showed like 5 people the secret door. I can't believe I didn't show you.
Where was the secret door?
Okay, so this mansion I used to live in, my family and I, we lived up in like the top 2 floors, and it was an apartment. And then below us was the second floor. Below that is the main floor that has all like the parlors and stuff, and then downstairs is the basement, which is also 2,000 square feet. Like, this mansion was built in 1890. It's so beautiful. I literally have a watercolor painting of it because I am obsessed with this house. I got to live there for 2.5 years. It was amazing. Anyway, my brother-in-law, David, is friends with the guy who owns the house. So he was in town one time and he was staying there. And his wife, Grace, was like, have you ever seen the secret room in the bathroom? And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, come here. So she takes me down into the bathroom, and there's a shelf on the wall, and it's probably only like 3.5 feet tall, just like a shelf. And she literally just like pushes the shelf, and it swings open, and there's an entire room behind it full of books. And I was like, like, what is this house? Like, it's awesome. It was amazing.
That's nuts.
Unfortunately, the house, not haunted.
Ugh,
I lived there for 2.5 years, not a single creak.
what a disappointment.
Very disappointing. Anyway, secret door though.
Yeah, secret door. When Bella walks through, she is very sad because it is cold again.
She's so tired of being cold.
Yeah. They're not in there for very long. They go into another brighter, cavernous room that is perfectly round, like a huge castle turret,
Yep.
which was probably exactly what it was.
That's what it is.
Uh-huh. They're 2 stories up. There's long window slits all around the room.
Okay, I have to admit, I think I've been listening and doing a little bit too much of Buffy
Oh.
reading and listening, because when I first thought of those slits of sunlight, I was like, oh, this means they have to like move around the room all day long so that they don't get killed from the sun. And then so they're like, there's only furniture are all these big ugly wooden chairs. They're just like sitting against this curved walls. It sounds horrid. And in the very center of the room there's a like a drain for if they have to leave. They just fall down the drain again, right?
No.
Anyway, I was like, the room was not empty. There were a few people hanging around talking. Why are all these people in here? As she watched, a pair of pale women in summer dresses paused in a patch of light, and I got so nervous. I was like, what are they doing? And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is not Buffy. This is Twilight. They're not gonna die. They're just gonna look so beautiful. Yeah. And they do.
These pale women in summer dresses, are these the wives?
Think of the summer
dresses. Do they
dresses,
have to hang out in the turret? Is that their one room?
That's where they hang out. Well, of course it's the wives, because they have to be there for the feast, right?
Yeah.
The wives have to come. I'm so glad they're wearing summer dresses.
At least
this is like
mid
2000s. It's 2006. So these dresses are, I'm trying to imagine. They're a spaghetti strap.
Maybe even a halter.
Yeah, and
with
they're
like the
short.
Sweetheart neck.
Very, very short. Like barely below the butt. Because the mid 2000s, every dress was barely, I don't know how. Because I was like, no, I'm not going to wear that. But every teenager I knew was wearing a dress that went barely below their butt. And I was like, I don't understand how this works.
What if you on something?
I never saw an underwear.
No.
How?
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
It, completely confuses me.
I don't understand it. But that's what these dresses are.
The exquisite faces all turned toward our party as we entered the room. Most of the immortals were dressed in inconspicuous pants and shirts.
Yeah, just dockers and tan sweaters.
But the man who spoke first wore one of the long robes.
Ooh, I just got chills.
It was pitch black and brushed against the floor.
I want that.
For a moment, I thought his long, jet black hair was the hood of his cloak.
Think of having such beautiful hair.
Right? Jane, dear one, you've returned.
He just screams it. Jane, dear one! 5 minutes ago you went outside. I'm so glad you're back.
Like, they're all just a bunch of golden retrievers.
I love them.
He drifted forward, and the movement flowed with such a surreal grace that I gawked, my mouth hanging open.
Listen, they taught us how to walk like this in marching band.
Oh, like vampires?
Because you can't go bouncing around while you're playing your trumpet, right?
I guess.
So you gotta glide. You just like roll on the edges of your feet. It's a whole skill.
I see.
I'm sure that's what he's doing.
I was only more astonished as he floated closer and I could see his face. It was not like the unnaturally attractive faces that surrounded him.
Alright, listen to this. Listen how creepy his skin is.
Yeah, but also, anytime Aro takes a step forward, back side to side, everyone else in the room shifts with him.
Why?
That's so annoying.
That is so weird. I wonder if he has commanded them to do that. I wonder if they just are scared to not do it. Or I wonder if he has like another underlying power where he can just like kind of control where people are and make them be with him. I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know, just a thought.
No, I feel like he's definitely like, okay, you always have to be 3 paces at this angle from me. You gotta stay here. When I move, you move.
Imagine if they get a little too close to him though.
Oh. He's gonna touch you and then
just
you're gonna be embarrassed.
No. Embarrassed. So embarrassed. The slightest of us. I wonder
a little brush. Like, dang it!
I didn't mean to show you how much I like you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to think about you like that, but your hair.
But he doesn't look like them.
No.
He's different.
I couldn't decide if his face was beautiful or not. I supposed the features were perfect, but he was as different from the vampires beside him as they were from me. His skin was translucently white, like onion skin, and it looked
rude?
just as delicate.
Is that rude?
onion skin is not cute, I'll tell you
I
that.
think that's so rude. This is one of those. Bella has a long history of commenting on people's looks,
Yes.
especially in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she loves to point out a pimple, a crooked teeth, a weird haircut. She loves it. This is the rudest that she's ever been about anybody. His skin looked like onion skin. Ew, it's so rude.
It stood in shocking contrast to the long black hair that framed his face. I felt a strange, horrifying urge to touch his cheek
No.
to see if it was softer than Edward's or Alice's, or if it was powdery like chalk. His eyes were red, the same as the others around him, but the color was clouded, milky.
Ew.
I wondered if his vision was affected by the haze.
He's got
like cataracts.
glaucoma. Yeah, cataracts. That's what it is.
He glided to Jane, took her face in his papery hands, and kissed her lightly on her full lips.
Nope. How many? Am I allowed to say no? Like 25 times?
Yeah, go ahead and get started.
Nope. I hate this. No. Don't. Stop it. No. Mm-mm. Nope. Do not kiss her.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Do not kiss her.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
Am I the only one?
No, it's gross.
Maybe this is why Danae hates him so much.
Because he's a pedophile?
Yes.
It's a good reason to hate someone.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Just no.
Yes, master, Jane smiled. I brought him back alive just as you wished.
She was
I
gonna
didn't
kill him.
kill him, okay?
She was gonna.
Ah, Jane, you are such a comfort to me.
No. Nope.
No comforting?
No. No. No.
I can't even begin to think of a discussion for this. Okay.
There isn't one. It's just a big no.
He turns and looks at Edward and Bella and is stoked to find Alice. What a happy surprise.
He's literally clapping.
Yes.
And probably leaped a little bit.
I get to touch Alice. Hell yeah.
I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
Think of how Bella reacted when Alice was in her house. She sobbed for 20 minutes straight.
Yeah.
I get it.
Oh, Bella's very taken aback that he addressed her so casually. Bella and Alice are here.
Oh.
Excuse me?
Me?
I never met you in my life.
Okay.
Weirdo.
Can I touch your skin?
Just a cheek brush. Is that her? Is that the egg? You know, Red Esme touches people on the cheek.
It is the egg. Oh, cute.
Felix, be a dear and tell my brothers about our company. I'm sure they wouldn't want to miss this.
I'm the same. Whenever anything funny happens, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to tell Adam. I'm immediately grabbing my phone. I'm like, I would never do something like this without being like, Adam has to be here.
Would you be a dear and go get them? Thank you. You see, Edward, what did I tell you? Are you glad that I didn't give you what you wanted yesterday? Yes, Aro, I am.
Oh no.
I love a happy ending, Aro sighed. They are so rare. But I want the whole story. How did this happen? Alice? Your brother seemed to think you infallible, but apparently there was some mistake. Ooh.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm far from infallible. And then she's smiling. She looks like she's perfectly at ease, but she's got the strongest fists happening. And you know she's just absolutely screaming at Edward.
Oh yeah.
She's like, she's what is it? She's swearing at him, a string of swears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. You're too modest, Aro chided. I've seen some of your more amazing exploits, and I must admit I have never observed anything like your talent. Wonderful. Alice flickered a glance at Edward. Aro did not miss it. I'm so sorry we haven't been introduced properly at all, have we? It's just that I feel like I know you already, and I tend to get ahead of myself. Your brother introduced us yesterday in a peculiar way. You see, I share some of your brother's talent, only I am limited in a way that he is not.
So jealous.
So jelly. Edward tells her that if Aro touches you, he can hear every thought you've ever had. And Alice gives Edward an eyebrow raise, and Edward gives Alice a head up. What did she just ask him?
I don't know. But Aro sure didn't miss it.
No, he didn't.
And then Aro goes, but to be able to hear from a distance. And then he just sighs. That would be so convenient.
So convenient.
And I'm like, okay, but wait a minute. What about this new thing that I've been reading every single day? It's nonstop on Facebook. I keep scrolling, and every third scroll is some people don't have an internal monologue.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so what about that? Do they just see what the people are envisioning? Because I guess that's what it is. If you're not one of us who has an internal monologue constantly talking to your brain all day long, it's not fun, let me tell you that. But also, I guess they just see their thoughts.
See them, feel
in
them.
Pictures.
Yeah.
And colors and stuff like that. So maybe that is like people like Charlie for Edward.
Yeah.
Who he can't really hear Charlie's thoughts, but he can like kind of feel what Charlie's feeling, and he knows how much Charlie loves Bella. So maybe Charlie doesn't have an internal monologue.
Maybe.
Obviously Bella does.
Bella definitely
We have
does.
thousands of pages of her internal monologue.
Oh, yes. Aro looks over everyone's shoulders behind them, and everyone in the room turns to look, including Jane, Alec, and Dimitri, who were silently beside them. I was the slowest to turn.
Do you picture just everybody like flipped around and she just turned like normal human pace?
Yes. Felix was back, and behind him floated two more black-robed men. Both looked very much like Aro. One even had the same flowing black hair. The other had a shock of snow-white hair. A shock of a color is a very J.K. Rowling description.
It is, yeah.
All of her colors are very shocking and violent.
She's got a shock of red.
Yeah. And the same shade as his face. That's cool. That brushed against his shoulders. Their faces had identical paper-thin skin.
Ew.
I'm imagining like a tissue paper. Like
Yeah,
a person
I
that
was
looks
thinking
like the tissue paper.
Yeah, so I was thinking more like a crepe paper that's kind of like even a little bit wrinkly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Not Bella though, she's thinking onion skin.
Onion skin. Mm-hmm. Marcus, Caius, look. Bella is alive after all, and Alice is here with her. Isn't that wonderful?
Aro is so stoked.
This is the greatest thing that's happened all year. The dark-haired man seemed utterly bored. Like he'd seen too many millennia of Aro's enthusiasm.
He truly has.
Amen. The other's face was sour under the snowy hair.
Ew.
Their lack of interest did not curb Aro's enjoyment.
Aro is such a sociopath that he doesn't care one bit that they don't care.
No, not at all.
Like, he's like, my enthusiasm is the only thing that matters.
And that's such a weird thing because he knows exactly how everyone else feels about him and has ever felt about him.
He doesn't care. He's a sociopath. He's a psychopath. Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Let's have the story Aro almost sang in his feathery voice.
Really good. I want to make a request to Chandra to say that line.
Let us have the story. Caius goes to sit down on his wooden throne. Marcus goes and gives Aro a touch before he goes and sits in his chair. And Aro raises one black brow.
Think of that.
Edward snorted very quietly, and Alice looked at him.
Imagine Edward, like, coming up for 1 second from his brood to snort. Just for that 1 second. please.
So how does the levels of the powers work? Because you have Marcus. So Marcus sees relationships.
Right.
And so he just is in the room with Edward and Bella, and he's like, whoa, those two really dig each other.
They are a bonded pair.
Gives Aro a touch. Does Aro pick up from the last thought that he already heard, you think, and like just gets a catch up?
Or does he have to see everything again?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And while that's happening,
that almost just made me choke.
Can Edward then use Aro's power too? Does he now know everything that Marcus just passed to Aro?
Absolutely, I think. Yeah, because I think that along with him hearing other people's thoughts and like what I said on the page before, I think he can see the feelings and thoughts too. So I think he does. I think now he has heard everything that Aro just witnessed. So that's cool because that does mean that Edward is way more powerful than Aro, even though they have different powers. Because Edward can get all of Aro's thoughts. Yeah. Which includes everybody else's feelings.
As long as he's there for that touch.
Ooh, that's cool.
That is cool.
Love it.
Okay. Edward snorts. Aro thanks Marcus for his touch and says that's quite interesting. And then Bella goes, Marcus didn't look interested.
No. Marcus
goes and sits by the girls with the sundresses.
Oh, Marcus. He's the most bored of all. I love him. He's great. And I just feel like he hates Aro so much.
He has to.
He has to.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
The idea of any vampire needing a guard was faintly ridiculous to me, but maybe the ancient ones were as frail as their skin suggested. Talking about how all the bodyguards kind of like spread out to be around all three of them now. Aro was shaking his head. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Alice is very mad that she's not in on what's happening. So Edward turns and says, Marcus sees relationships and he's surprised by the intensity of ours. Aro smiled again. So convenient. It takes quite a bit to surprise Marcus, I can assure you. I looked at Marcus's dead face and I believed that.
Marcus is just like droll. Very droll. Nothing.
It's just so difficult to understand even now, Aro mused, staring at Edward's arm wrapped around me. It was hard for me to follow Aro's chaotic train of thought. I struggled to keep up.
Imagine being with him for 14 billion years.
Oh my god. How can you stand so close to her like that? It's not without effort, Edward answered.
Edward, think before you talk, mister. You're gonna give Bella another wound.
Oh no. Bella needs less wounds in her life. But still, La Tua Cantante, what a waste.
Oh, but still, La Tua Cantante, what a waste. Sorry.
Edward goes, I look at it more as a price. And Aro goes, a very high price. Opportunity cost.
Yes.
If I hadn't smelled her through your memories, I wouldn't have believed the call of anyone's blood could be so strong.
Aro, stop being gross.
I've never felt anything like it myself. Most of us would trade much for such a gift, and yet...
Oh my gosh.
Edward's like, yeah, I know, I'm wasting it. Ha ha ha. You're just like Carlisle, only he's not as angry.
Here's the thing though. Edward, okay, so for Aro, this is a big waste. Like, man, you could easily, like, first of all, drink that blood, turn that into a vampire, have it forever. And Edward is like, I mean, no, it's like, I'm not gonna, whatever. But I'm like, this is another level of jealousy that Aro has. Aro would never have this much self-control. And for Edward, it's like a 2-year-long boner. Just being with Bella. It's fine. He doesn't mind.
He's whatever.
It's fine, right? So Aro's super jealous of that.
I've had an idea.
Okay.
Because you don't have to kill a human just to get blood out of them. So, what if
Wait a minute.
Bella,
I'm nervous.
before she gets turned into a vampire, she goes and sees Carlisle every 2 weeks and does a donation of blood, but they put it in a special Edward bank, and then like every year on their anniversary she gives him some of her blood to drink.
Imagine Bella pitching this to Carlisle. You know how much you love Edward. Me too.
Same.
Let's do something really nice for him.
Mm-hmm.
We both know Alice's vision. Let's just, you know, a little bit of a thank you
Yeah.
to Edward. I like this
Would he
idea
say
so
no
much.
after she was a vampire and she gave him a blag of her blood?
A blag of blood. I don't know. He's such a nerd. He probably would say no, don't you think? He's the nerdiest of all. He'd be like, I cannot even now, after all this time, I cannot partake of your blood.
What if she drank her own blood?
Ew!
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
The Volturi are getting to me.
Alright, cool.
Oh, yeah. How I miss my friend Carlisle. You remind me of him, only he was not so angry.
Oh, you do miss your friend Carlisle.
I certainly never thought to see Carlisle bested for self-control of all things, but you put him to shame. And Edward just goes hardly.
No, Edward.
But wouldn't Aro know?
Mm-hmm.
More than you two?
Yeah,
Because he is like an objective third party.
absolutely.
So, I think Edward is stronger than Carlisle.
I do too. Yeah.
Aro talks about how he was so delighted to get the memories of Carlisle from Edward.
I have been waiting.
200 years.
He's still just as beautiful as he was before.
And he talks about how he's happy that Carlisle's doing well and found other vegetarian vampires.
I am surprised by how it pleases me.
Edward doesn't say anything.
No.
And Aro continues, but your restraint, I did not know such a strength was possible. To inure yourself against such a siren call, not just once, but again and again. If I had not felt it myself, I would not have believed.
I mean, it was hard for Edward. He had to sit in his car so many times.
That calming CD is worn out.
Guys.
Aro goes, just remembering how she appeals to you, it makes me thirsty.
Ew. So gross.
Now we get into Aro's real want here. He says, I don't mean Bella any harm, but I am very curious about something. May I? He brings a hand up, and Edward just goes, I don't know, ask her. And he's like, oh yes, of course. Hi, Bella. So it's super cool that Edward can't hear your thoughts, and I was thinking, because our gifts are so similar, if you would also be immune to my power as well. And Bella's like, excuse me, what? No?
And then she's like, I don't feel like I can say no.
I guess you can
This is
touch me.
not really a choice.
I was horrified at the thought of allowing him to touch me, and yet also perversely intrigued by the chance to feel his strange skin.
Yes. Does it feel like an onion? Or just look like one?
So, Bella puts out her hand, Aro floats over to her, and he just puts his... They do a touch, a skin to skin. And she goes, he's hard and cold,
Yeah.
but also, like, brittle.
He's super
feeling.
cold. Way colder than, like, the other vampires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, a weird shale, like a rock feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Rock. Like
A soft
a
rock.
brittle rock.
Yeah.
Instead of a hard rock like granite. That's cool.
His filmy eyes smiled down at mine,
Gross.
and it was impossible to look away. They were mesmerizing in an odd, unpleasant way. Aro's face altered as I watched. The confidence wavered and became first doubt, then incredulity,
Ugh.
before he calmed into a friendly mask.
He cannot stand it.
So very interesting. But first, I wonder if she's immune to our other talents. Jane, dear,
Oh no.
you did not just do that in front of the EC.
EC freaks the freak out.
Uh-huh. Jane hops over and says,
Gross.
"Yes, master."
Nope.
Edward was truly a snarl now, glaring at Arrow. Everyone was watching him with amazed disbelief, as if he were committing some embarrassing social faux pas.
How dare he?
A growl at the master.
I never.
I saw Felix grin hopefully and move a step forward.
Felix is like, oh, this is
Can
my
I get
chance.
him? Can I get him? Arrow glanced at him once and he froze in place, his grin turning into a sulky expression.
Come on, Dad. Jeez.
I was wondering, my dear one, if Bella is immune to you. I could barely hear Arrow over Edward's furious growls. He's so loud. Edward puts Bella behind him, and Caius comes over with all his people to get a better view. Jane turns towards them right as Edward launches himself at her, and before anyone can do anything, he is crucioed on the floor.
This is a hard crucio from a 12-year-old.
Yes.
How dare somebody teach her the unforgivable curses?
Jane was smiling only at him now, and it all clicked together. What Alice had said about formidable gifts, why everyone treated Jane with such difference, and why Edward had thrown himself in her path before she could do that to me. Edward is on the ground in pain, but he's not making any noise. And Bella's freaking the freak out, but Alice is holding her back so she doesn't do something really stupid.
She's in Alice prison.
Alice prison. Arrow gets her attention, Jane, and she looks over and breaks her spell. And then Arrow gives her a head nod. Not Edward, we want to check Bella. So she looks at Bella and
Smiles like a freak.
smiles at her. And then Bella's still worried about Edward, of course. She doesn't realize that Jane is trying to kill her with her mind.
No, she's just like, Edward?
She's like, Edward is... Oh, are you okay? And he's just staring at her, horrified. And then he does like a look back. Oh, she's fine. Jane can't hurt Bella.
Jane is pissed.
She is the worst mood she's ever been in.
So mad.
How dare you? Nothing happened. Arrow started to laugh.
Gross.
Ha ha ha, he chuckled. Everyone makes fun of that line so much.
Not me.
Arrow started to laugh. Ha ha ha, he chuckled. This is wonderful. Jane is pissed. Don't be put out, dear one. She confounds us all. Ha ha ha, he chortled again. You're very brave, Edward, to endure in silence. I asked Jane to do that to me once, just out of curiosity. Edward glared, disgusted.
I'ma kill you.
So what do we do with you now, Arrow sighed. And suddenly, this is the moment we've been waiting for.
Yep, here it is.
So, he asks them all if they would like to join the guard.
Yeah, Arrow is a collector.
Yes.
He's disgusting. He just
Very
goes
Slughorn.
around. Yeah, he's Slughorn.
Uh-huh.
He finds people who he thinks are powerful and who will help him become more powerful. It's not about them. It's not about anything other than helping him to attain his goals. And it's gross.
Yeah. So he's like, so Alice, what do you think? And she goes, no. And then he's like, Edward, did you reconsider? And Edward's like, definitely no. And then he's like, Bella? And she goes,
that's some forward stuff, man.
was he
Just met her.
joking? Or was he really asking me if I wanted to stay for dinner?
Bella.
And then finally Caius is like, hold on. Excuse me, first of all, we're not going to change this girl. And I was like, but Caius, surely you can see the potential.
Oh my gosh.
Jane is pissed because she's supposed to be the special one. Edward is also mad. Everyone's mad at everybody.
Yeah, and then Bella literally is like, she says the same thing that Alice says. She goes, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is a whole other conversation to unpack, that like her response isn't like, no, never, da da da. She's like barely can whisper the words, no, thank you, because women are conditioned to be polite even when their life is in danger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Alice and Edward set the scene. Or
Yeah.
set the standard.
Yeah,
of
so
their
Alice literally,
politeness.
Alice says no thank you. I mean, so she knows that she's also supposed to say no thank you.
No, thank you, Aro. Aro sighs, that's unfortunate, such a waste. And then Edward goes, join or die, is that it? I suspected as much when we were brought to this room. So much for your laws. And Aro's like, hey now, my laws are perfect, and we were just already in this room. It's not for you.
Yeah, we were already here. We have other plans.
You guys...
The world doesn't revolve around you, Edward Cullen.
Yeah, you weren't here for this morning's schedule making. We had to pencil you in.
How
this
many
is when
times
we had time.
do you have to be reminded that the world doesn't revolve around you?
A million. And then Caius gets all huffy and puffy that they're about to just let Bella walk out this door.
He's like, the law claims them.
Hello.
Hello.
This is why I'm here. She knows too much, and you're not planning on making her a vampire, and therefore she has to die.
Yeah. That's the law.
And Edward's like, Caius, you guys have humans all up in this place.
Remember that girl downstairs?
There's that girl.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, yeah, however, we kill them when we're done with them, or we change them
Ew.
into vampires.
Ew.
Are you willing to kill her if she says our secret? And Bella's like, I would never. But no one wants to hear her. So, yeah, Caius is like, we're definitely killing her. You guys can leave if you want, though. I don't care. And then Aro goes, unless you do intend to give her immortality. And now Edward
Oh, Addie.
is in the worst position he's ever been in his
Addie,
life.
see, you gotta do it.
Do I promise to kill Bella to save her? I guess.
Oh no.
And if I do, why then you would be free to go home and give my regards to my friend Carlisle.
Go home, but please say hi to Carlisle for me.
I have
Please.
1,000,000 pages of a journal I'd like you to deliver to him.
I hand wrote them all.
Yes.
It's not on a computer. I don't have a disc.
I do not have internet here.
Can you deliver this to him? I'll be right back.
It's every thought I've had since he's left. About him specifically.
So many pages.
Aro goes, yes, that's fine, but you would have to mean it. And then he holds up his hand to get Edward's for sure thought that, like, yes, I will change Bella into a vampire. He just stares at Bella, she stares back at him, and she goes, mean it, I whispered, please.
No, Bella.
Was it really such a loathsome idea?
Oh, I can't.
Would he rather die than change me?
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna cross these lines out. In my
Good
book.
idea.
There we go. Just, I'm scribbling them out. I don't want them to exist in my life anymore. You can do this, right?
Yeah.
You can just take out the parts you don't want.
Oh, I didn't know that we were doing that.
Like in Gilmore Girls, I want to take out every scene with Dean in it.
Perfect.
Everything else is fine. Alright, there we go. That's better.
Awesome. So then, let's rewind. Aro raises his hand for Edward to come and touch her, and Bella says, please mean it. But then Alice hops over to Aro.
Good.
And
Much better. Didn't that feel better?
Yeah, it doesn't
My
say
stomach
anything.
doesn't hurt anymore.
She just prances over and gives Aro a boop.
Look what's gonna happen.
This is a very long boop, though, because we got to get all of the visions in. Aro seemed frozen over Alice's hand. The seconds passed, and I grew more and more stressed, wondering how much time would pass before it was too much time.
Oh no.
Before it meant something was wrong. More wrong than it already was.
Oh
no. Another agonizing moment passed, and then Aro's voice broke the silence. He laughs. That was fascinating.
Phew.
To see the things you've seen, especially the ones that haven't happened yet. And she goes, but that will. Yes, it's quite determined. Certainly there's no problem. Caius looked bitterly disappointed.
What's the difference between this vision that she just showed him and the fact that Bella didn't actually die? You follow? Like, so she had a vision that Bella died. That's why they're all here.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't true. It didn't actually happen. So why is this vision that she is showing him so certain that he's like, okay, cool. I mean, he's like such a shrug.
I feel like it's less about the vision and more about the intent. Like, Alice has made up her mind that she will change Bella if Edward doesn't.
All right.
And so he can just feel like
and this is a
how
long
strong
term.
that
this was
decision
from
is.
Before she even ever had a first conversation with Bella. She knew this. So that maybe that's the difference.
Yeah.
Is it wasn't just like a one time, like the vision with her jumping off the cliff was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not just her in this moment being like, yes,
I just
will
decided.
turn her like Edward would be. It's like, I've had, you can count them, 3 million different visions of me and Bella hanging out as vampires.
Yeah.
Plus, before we even got here, I told Bella that I would change her myself if Edward didn't agree.
Cool.
So.
Right on.
Yeah. Oh, we can take out this whole paragraph
Yeah,
too.
because look what I wrote. God, shut up, Bella.
Yeah.
That's all I wrote. I'm going to cross it out.
Perfect.
Just like I do, like we make cuts and scripts, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Cut this whole page. That's a big cut.
Yep.
There we go.
Caius is disappointed that they don't get to kill anyone today. Ara's like, don't worry, they are not joining us today, but maybe they'll join us in the future. I can't wait to see how Bella turns out.
She's going to be so beautiful.
Uh-huh. Edward asks if they are free to go, and Ara says, yes, but please visit again.
At this moment, I got so nervous because they're practically pushing these guys out.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, cool, done, bye, go, see you later, bye.
Time's
like,
up.
me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Can you imagine how Bella is like, what is happening? How did this get resolved and now we're free to go?
Yeah.
Like, so scary.
Caius promises that they will visit them soon.
No,
to
please
make
don't.
sure that Bella is a vampire.
No, thank you.
Felix groaned. Ah, Felix, Aro smiled, amused. Heidi will be here at any moment. Patience.
Oh no.
Excuse me? Be here for what?
Yeah. Edward's like, we better go.
Yeah. Bella, do you have your
idea.
Heelys? We gotta zoom down this hallway. They tell them that they have to stay until it is dark, and then they can leave.
Oh. They give Edward the most beautiful cloak.
Yes, they do. Right off of Felix's back.
Takes it right off and puts it right on Edward. I want one. I really want one.
Edward puts on the cloak. Aro sighed. It suits you.
I bet it does.
Yeah. He says thank you. Aro says goodbye, young friends, and Edward scoops Bella along, and they leave.
Yeah, get the F out of there.
Alice was close by my other side, her face hard. Not fast enough, she muttered.
Why did they pick her up?
I don't know.
Backpack her.
Backpack her out of there.
Like they care what the humans coming in are gonna think.
Exactly. They're gonna die anyway.
So dumb.
Anyway, so Bella hears all these people talking and commenting on how medieval and unusual the place looks. And then there's a huge crowd that comes in through the door. And so they stand aside and everyone walks past them. And they hear Aro say, welcome guests, welcome to Volterra. There is 40 or more people.
Yeah. 40 people whose families are just going to accept their disappearance.
I guess.
Like, does the Volturi stage an accident
Maybe.
and send the bodies back to their families. But then, like, if every year there's these huge, enormous, unexplained accidents happening at the festival, don't you, they just cover it up? It's just because they own the city, they own the police, they can cover this all up. Do they have those little light things like the Men in Black?
Yes.
They erase everybody's memories? What is happening?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Everybody looks like tourists, and a lot of them look confused, but some of them are taking pictures.
That would be me so bad. Me and you with our cameras out. Oh my gosh.
Check that
Look
out.
at this.
Selfie.
This is amazing. It's almost like a real castle of vampires.
Edward pulled my face against his chest, but it was too late. I already understood. As soon as the smallest break appeared, Edward pushed me quickly toward the door. I could feel the horrified expression on my face and the tears beginning to pool in my eyes.
Do you ever notice how Bella seems completely disassociated from her feelings?
You mean the whole series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she never realizes that she's crying until she actually sees her tears.
Uh-huh.
She never realizes that she's in shock until she's literally, her head is on the floor with a concussion.
Uh-huh.
She never realizes how she's feeling until she's, like, witnesses the physical aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is some, like, next level mental illness shit going on here.
Yep.
Like, she's got dissociative disorder. She cannot even process an emotion or feeling.
Mm-mm.
That's messed up.
Yeah, poor Bella.
It is sad and messed up, and she's never going to get help for it, because all that happens is she just has to deal with it and take care of everybody else and then become a vampire. Which is like, then she's got the rest of forever to kind of like work through things and figure it out. But oh my gosh, this poor girl.
Well, I hope someone does help her work through it, because as a vampire, they don't actually cry.
No.
So does she just never realize if she's like upset about something because there's no tears?
Well, she doesn't, because when she has to say this is a spoiler. Like, when she has to say goodbye to Renesmee, she's just like completely separated her feelings from this. Like, she's like, you'll be safe, you're with Jacob, goodbye.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh.
Okay, bye. The hallway is quiet except for... Oh, and is empty except for that one pretty lady.
Welcome back, Heidi! Dimitri. She's only been gone for less than an hour.
Yeah.
They're all so glad you came back! Wagging their tails.
Heidi smiled absently. She reminded me of Rosalie, though they looked nothing alike. And it was just that her beauty, too, was exceptional, unforgettable. I couldn't seem to look away. Whole paragraph describing how hot Heidi is.
Got a crush on Heidi. She was dressed to emphasize that beauty. Think of how long her legs are, and she's got some dark tights on. The shortest of 2006 mini skirts. Oh my goodness. Top, long sleeved, high necked, close fitting, red vinyl. She's dressed like Buffy.
Yeah, straight up.
She's
Buffy
wearing,
was taller.
She's wearing a Buffy outfit.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Long mahogany hair was lustrous, and her eyes were the strangest shade of violet.
Ooh.
What? Oh, she's got blue tinted contacts in. Okay, so here's what we get. Dimitri has short hair.
Felix cropped.
Felix has short hair. Dimitri has long hair.
Uh-huh.
Arrow has onion skin. But this lady, she's almost as pretty as Rosalie, and let me tell you how. I love it. I love it. I just love how gay Bella is.
Me too.
It gives me life.
It's great.
It fills me with a joy that I cannot describe. Oh my goodness.
Dimitri compliments Heidi on the feast that she has provided.
Nice fishing, he says. Good grief.
Thanks, aren't you coming? He says, in a minute, save a few for me.
Oh, gross.
Heidi nodded and gave Bella a curious look. And then Edward set a pace that had me running to keep up, but we still couldn't get through the ornate door at the end of the hallway before the screaming started.
Nope. Goodbye. This is horrible. At least they made it through. Nobody died. Aro shrugged everything off.
Uh-huh.
Aro is a shrug.
He's a big shrug. He's a shrug and a laugh.
He laughed. Ha ha ha. He chuckled.
Yes.
So we did a mini-sode where we talk about Aro. It's our Aro mini-sode.
Uh-huh.
And that goes along with our Aro interview that we do with Chandra.
Uh-huh.
This is our Aro chapter. Aro is very interesting and very cool.
Yeah.
He just shrugged this off. He's been alive since 1300 BC.
Yeah, about.
I can't even... my brain doesn't know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do well in high school. But, like, oh my gosh, he just is like so... we'll just see what happens.
Well, yeah, he's like, finally something kind of interesting is going on. Like, I'm not going to kill you all and stop it. Like, this is going to give me some entertainment for, like, as long as I let it go out. So, like, you guys leave now, and, like, I'll at least have something to look forward to later.
That is the truest. that is what makes the most sense in my head, is that he's like, oh my gosh, something is happening? Nothing ever happens.
Edward, she smells so good and you're not eating her? Incredible.
Let's see what happens. I love it. I love that he's so cool. He's just like, whatever happens, happens, and I'm here to witness it.
Yep.
And say hi to Carlisle for me. Because I miss him. I miss his blonde hair. I miss his beautiful chin. Just everything about that guy.
Every single thing.
I miss his fingernails. Listen.
That guy kept a great manicure.
Think of Carlisle, though. His doctor hands, those nails look good.
Yeah, they do.
Oh my gosh. I love this chapter.
It's a good one.
It's very long.
Yeah, it is. A lot happens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So many new characters.
So much to think about and do.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward and Bella are back. She still doesn't know it. The next chapter is very, very hard. Because she is still just like, this is all a dream. You know, like, this isn't going to last. I don't know how to deal with that. And she gets more and more desperate.
Yep.
It's very hard. All right, so thank you for remembering New Moon with us.
Yeah, we love you guys so much.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And you know what I thought about today when I was reading, and I was like, I cannot believe that I get to just do this thing where I'm literally doing what I would be doing anyways, sitting around talking to Emily about Twilight.
Yeah.
And yet I get to share it with people who I'm now meeting and falling in love with also. So thank you, and really, really thank you. I love it.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing to witness people having conversations about us and how they feel in, like, reaction to listening to the podcast.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's so cool and so strange.
I mean, obviously, Emily and I have been talking about Twilight for a very long time, so we're glad that we have this outlet to join and to let other people in on the conversation. I love it so much.
Yep.
So thank you.
Yeah. We will see you guys next week, and remember, don't put bleeding bodies next to your vegetarian friends.
No, it's rude. Okay, love you guys. Bye. But look how much my ears, like, naturally they poke out. And so when I wear the headphones for an hour and a half, how long was that? It was an hour and a half, I swear.
Oh, this cut off. So
I'm
more
not
than an
surprised. We talked for so long about those weirdos. Anyway, it pushes my ears down. It makes them hurt.